this hour on VTV News. Vietnam's military undergoes restructuring to enhance combat readiness and efficiency. Later on, navigating challenges of inclusive education for children with autism. And Myanmar set up relief efforts after the quake.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is currently 3 p.m. local time, and you're tuning into 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Dylan Lê with the latest updates. Now, on the top news of this hour, on Wednesday morning, the Central Military Commission of the Communist Party of Vietnam held a key conference to review a proposal for reorganizing local military structures to be more streamlined, strong, and capable in addressing new challenges. The meeting, led by General Secretary Tô Lâm, focused on restructuring military commands and border forces, while highlighting three key principles. First, the streamlining must align with potential administrative changes, such as merging provinces and cities. Second, it must conform to Vietnam's all-people's defense policy, people's war strategy, and national border defense strategy. Finally, it must ensure military forces can better fulfill their missions and maintain a robust defense network, supporting Vietnam's defense readiness in an ever-evolving global landscape. On April the 1st, Khánh Hòa province officially implemented a KPI-based performance assessment for all cadres, civil servants, and public employees. After its initial pilot phase, the system now tracks quantity, quality, productivity, and efficiency through specialized software, streamlining administration and enhancing governmental efficiency.
At the Vietnam Fatherland Front Agency in Khánh Hòa, civil servants track tasks, completion, and quality via dedicated software integrating key performance indicator assessment, document management, and e-office operations for enhanced efficiency.
Civil servants are well informed and actively engaged, thanks to their familiarity with the office. Integrating KPI tracking into the platform is a key advantage.
Khánh Hòa has finalized the list of work items for agencies, units, and localities. Last March, 19 units began piloting the work effectiveness assessment.
In line with the Central Committee's policy on streamlining the apparatus and enhancing operational efficiency, Khánh Hòa Province has developed tools to measure and evaluate the work quantity and quality of each KPI staff member. This initiative aims to address key bottlenecks and improve staff assessment.
Through KPI-based evaluation, staff members can improve their work efficiency, meeting public expectations for enhanced administrative performance.
On Tuesday night, State President Lương Cường and his wife hosted a state dinner for Belgium's King Philippe and Queen Mathilde during their state visit to Vietnam. The state president expressed gratitude to Belgium's parliament for being the first in the world to pass a resolution supporting Vietnam's Agent Orange victims, drawing global attention to the war's enduring effects. He emphasized the importance of continued cooperation between the two nations, particularly in expanding trade opportunities and finalizing the Vietnam-EU Investment Protection Agreement. King Philippe, acknowledging Belgium's own history with toxic warfare agents, reaffirmed his country's commitment to helping clean up dioxin contaminations and ensure a healthier environment for Vietnamese citizens. National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn, accompanied by his spouse and a high-ranking National Assembly delegation, arrived in Yerevan this morning, starting an official visit to the Republic of Armenia at the invitation of President of the National Assembly of Armenia, Alen Simonyan. During the visit, National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn is scheduled to hold talks and meetings with top Armenian leaders, meet with the head of the Armenia-Vietnam Friendship Parliamentary Group, attend the Armenia-Vietnam Business Forum, and visit various cultural and economic establishments. This official visit to Armenia aims to explore measures to augment cooperation between the two legislative bodies, and promote a conducive environment for expanding bilateral cooperation, particularly in the fields of economics, trade, investment, education, training, and culture. Vietnam has implemented new preferential import tariffs on various goods, including automobiles, timber, ethanol, food, and fuel. This timely Decree 37 adjustment aims to ensure fair trade between partners and improve Vietnam's trade balance.
This enterprise imported over 150 tons of corn and 61 tons of soybean meals last year for animal feed production. Under Decree 73, the tariff on corn was lowered from 2% to 0%, while the tariff on soybean meals was also reduced to 0%.
These changes are particularly timely as the livestock industry faces financial difficulties. They will help reduce production costs.
Following the decree's issuance, the authorities swiftly communicated the updated tax policies to local businesses in HueIen province.
The tariff reductions mainly focus on three key categories: automobiles, raw materials, and agricultural-related goods. These essential imports have long entered Vietnam, and the adjustments ensure a balanced reduction across different sectors.
Lower import duties are expected to have minimal effects, especially when the economy sustains growth and domestic consumer confidence remains high.
The revised tax policy also aims to maintain reasonable tariff levels among Vietnam's strategic trade partners.
These adjustments will help realign trade balances for countries already benefiting from preferential tax rates, ensuring fair benefits for all parties.
The government's decree is a great driving force. We hope the U.S. will assess these changes fairly to prevent countermeasures such as retaliatory tariffs on Vietnamese wood products.
These tax adjustments reflect Vietnam's flexible approach to maintaining trade balances amid global economic fluctuations. However, measures should be in place to protect local industries, particularly farmers, from increased competition due to cheaper imports.
Amidst global trade uncertainties, Vietnam's agricultural sector continues to thrive, with exports in March alone reaching over $6 billion. For the first quarter of the year, total agricultural exports exceeded $15.7 billion, marking a 13% increase from the previous year. Notably, agricultural products earned over $8.5 billion, up by more than 12%, while seafood export hit $2.3 billion, and livestock export increased by more than 18%. Asia remains Vietnam's largest market, accounting for 42% of its agricultural export share, followed by the Americas and Europe. Despite global challenges, Vietnam's agricultural industry shows resilience and growth, positioning the country as a significant global exporter. Looking back to last year's achievements, Vietnam's agricultural sector experienced strong growth, with export turnover reaching $62.5 billion, up nearly 19% from the previous year, which is 2023. However, as the industry approaches its growth limits, it needs new drivers for expansion. Key agricultural sectors are focusing on sustainable production and advanced processing to enhance quality, maintain export momentum, and strengthen competitiveness.
Strict adherence to production processes has helped coffee growing areas earn organic certification. Cooperatives are investing in deep processing technology, achieving Gia Lai's 4-star OCOP certification and aiming for national brand recognition.
The cooperative has practiced organic farming for 6 years, meeting U.S. and EU standards. It specializes in deep processing, use ripe fruit, and select Robusta coffee with a unique, distinct flavor.
This enterprise exports to over 20 countries thanks to organic certification and modern processing technology.
We focus on sustainable coffee practices, traceability, and producing high-quality, clean products for both domestic and international consumers.
Promoting green, clean, and eco-friendly production is essential for boosting agricultural product value. As green consumption rises, medicinal plants like artichokes thrive. In addition to tea bags, artichoke extract, rich in cinnamon, is becoming popular. Cold concentration technology maximizes its medicinal content.
To enhance the medicinal properties of artichoke, particularly its cynerin content, we follow multiple processing stages. Pharmacists analyze each batch of extract, testing product samples to determine their active ingredient levels.
By anticipating market challenges and investing in deep processing and sustainable production, many Vietnamese enterprises have maintained their market share and even expanded exports amid growing competition.
We must now produce according to market demand, not just what we have available. Therefore, market research, trade promotion, collaboration with ministries and Vietnamese embassies, and aligning production with market requirements are essential.
To enhance value and competitiveness, Vietnamese agricultural products must go beyond raw exports. Pre-processed, organic, and branded products are essential for meeting quality standards, boosting value, and expanding markets.
As climate change poses increasing challenges to agriculture, the System of Rice Intensification, or SRI model, offers a sustainable solution for Hanoi's rice-growing regions. The method boosts yields while reducing production costs through 3 key practices: transplanting young seedlings, sparse planting, and shallow water irrigation. This environmentally friendly approach is helping shape the long-term development of Vietnam's rice industry.
Farmer Lưu Bá Tiệp has adopted an ecological rice farming method for the first time, enhancing both yield and quality. The fully mechanized planting process uses a strict intermittent irrigation schedule, draining water 3 to 4 times per crop. By minimizing fertilizers and pesticides, the method also significantly lowers input costs.
The cost savings are remarkable. I used to spend a significant amount on pesticide, but now I haven't had to spray at all.
This is an organic-oriented, low-emission farming method. Measuring equipment is needed to assess carbon emission reductions and support farmers through carbon credit incentives.
SRI rice cultivation reduces costs by $275 to $315 per hectare, while boosting yields by 18 to 20%. By 2030, Hanoi plans to convert 80% of its rice-growing areas to fully mechanized production.
We are working to implement this model across 160,000 hectares of rice fields. It delivers high economic efficiency, reduces costs, cuts labor demand, limits energy use, and most importantly, lowers emissions.
To scale up SRI farming, the Hanoi Department of Agriculture and Environment is offering farmers a 2-year subsidy covering 50% of seeds, fertilizers, and planting costs. This support enables farmers to experience the benefits of the new method while easing their transition.
According to S&P Global, Vietnam's Purchasing Managers Index PMI reached 50.5 in March, marking the first time in 4 months the index has surpassed 50. This indicates that Vietnam's manufacturing sector regained growth momentum by the end of the first quarter, with both output and new orders increasing. Manufacturing output rose due to better product availability and increased new orders after 2 consecutive months of decline. However, S&P Global cautioned that new orders in many countries, including Vietnam, remain weak due to global economic uncertainty. As a result, manufacturers remain cautious about hiring and purchasing additional input materials. In other news, Vietnam Airlines has officially resumed flights on 3 international routes: Ho Chi Minh City to Hong Kong, China, and Hanoi, Da Nang, and Ho Chi Minh City to Bangkok. The airline will operate daily flights on each route, offering more than 60 weekly trips between Vietnam and Thailand. The carrier is also increasing its service between Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, and Kuala Lumpur to 10 flights per week. These route reopenings reflect Vietnam's airline's commitment to expanding connectivity and making international travel more accessible and convenient for passengers. Before we move on, let's have a look at the exchange rate between the Vietnam dong and some world currencies in today's market. Coming up next on VTV News. Navigating challenges of inclusive education for children with autism. And later on, Lao Cai declares emergency due to landslide risk. Welcome back to VTV News Live. Now on to other important updates. After nearly 15 years of implementing the law on the elderly, Vietnam has strengthened its commitment to senior care, with health insurance now covering more than 16 million elderly citizens. The Ministry of Health announced plans to enhance oversight of elderly care policies to better serve the country's aging population, including possible policy revisions. The Vietnamese government currently allocates $1.09 billion annually for social support and health insurance for seniors and other protected groups. Additionally, the government is implementing a national strategy for senior citizens through 2035 to improve the elderly population's quality of life. Today, April the 2nd, marks World Autism Awareness Day. Studies estimate that 1 in 100 children receives an autism diagnosis. In Vietnam, the number of children with autism increased dramatically, rising 50 times between 2000 and 2007. While current policy allows children with disabilities, including autism, to study alongside their peers in local schools, inclusive learning continues to pose significant challenges.
Children with autism often face rejection and bullying in inclusive education settings. A major factor is the shortage of teachers with specialized training in supporting autistic students in public schools. This gap leaves many schools struggling to address the unique challenges presented by children with severe autism.
In several cases, a child may leave the classroom, scream, cry, harm themselves, or grab things from others. Once, a child swung a water bottle that nearly hit my son's teeth. I remain understanding, knowing the child couldn't control their behavior.
When evaluating children's applications, we must assess their ability to learn in a regular classroom. Having a specialized teacher for autistic children would be ideal for every school.
Many families with severely autistic children must hire private tutors for one-on-one sessions both at school and at home, but the quality of these tutors is often beyond their control.
Some families hire support staff at their own expense with no government assistance. These staff members often lack qualifications or training, with some being high school graduates, leading to inconsistent quality and no oversight.
Despite many challenges, love remains the guiding force in creating inclusive education for children with autism.
I dedicated extra time with my students, showing them love and support. By being close to them, sharing experiences, and offering my help, I can build their trust.
There are still challenges, with friends teasing my children, causing them stress and frustration. Though it saddens me, I remain calm and continue the journey with my child, knowing that integration is the best path for their future and growth in the community.
While the path to inclusive education for autistic children presents many challenges, these difficulties do not make it impossible.
Lao Cai province has declared an emergency after large cracks appeared on the vital 29-3 road, threatening the safety of 31 households in Phom Han Ward, Lao Cai City. Heavy rains in mid-March have worsened the situation and increased the risk of landslides. Authorities have ordered residents to evacuate and plan to build a retaining wall, with construction scheduled to begin in April and finish in August. In other news, Tunnel Sun in the Dark will premiere on April the 4th and screen throughout the month. The film, marking the 50th anniversary of Vietnam's reunification, stands out for its young cast, actors born well after the war, who breathed new life into the heroic and tragic battles of the legendary Cu Chi tunnels. Their performances offer a fresh perspective on the guerrilla fighters of the anti-American resistance.
For 2 months, the young cast underwent intensive battlefield training and learned tunnel survival techniques like actual wartime guerrillas. They also met with veterans, survivors of that historic era, and legendary Gucci fighter.
My character is based on a real-life hero, Do Van Duk. I received invaluable guidance from him and other veterans who instilled in me the spirit of wartime resilience. Of course, I felt fear of death, fear of battle. But when someone invades your homeland, you cannot remain passive. Their optimism and unwavering patriotism were essential. It's impossible to fight without such spirit.
Fierce close quarters combat unfolds within the cramped tunnels where life and death hang in the balance. Beyond depicting war's raw brutality, the film immerses audience in the emotions, camaraderie, and fleeting moments of humanity that divide these young guerrilla fighters' life amid the flames of conflict.
Beyond war, the characters like Ba Hương are just like today's Gen Z. They're 19 or 20, still naive in love, still innocent. I wanted to bring out those everyday moments, the real, raw emotions of youth through my character.
The script doesn't glorify one side over the other. It doesn't create exaggerated heroes. These were ordinary people, but they had ideals. That's what made them heroes.
From the veterans' stories and my filming experience, I now truly understand the extraordinary nature of their fight and what they endured for our independence. We stand tall today because they shouldered the burden of war with humility.
In 120 minutes, Tunnel, Sun in the Dark weaves together stories of camaraderie, love, and survival. But above all, it stands as a testament to the spirit of sacrifice for one's homeland. Through this journey, each young actor has discovered their own answer to the profound question, what is the true cost of peace?
Later on in our bulletin, Myanmar steps up relief efforts after the earthquake. And the U.S. stands firm on retaliatory tariffs. Now moving on to our global updates, the whole world is watching how the aftermath of the Myanmar earthquake unfold. Tens of thousands of people in Myanmar are still living in severe conditions without housing, electricity, clean water, essential goods, or medical care. Currently, around 200 residents are staying in extremely dire conditions at a temporary camp set up for victims at Tawin Yadanar School in Zabu Thridi town. On Wednesday morning, a rescue team from the Vietnamese Ministry of Public Security deployed personnel to set up tents for temporary shelter and provide medical examinations and medication for the injured. The rescue team from the Vietnam People's Army recovered 2 more earthquake victims, bringing the total number found to 7. The team has established a temporary command center at Ottara Tiri Hospital to coordinate operations effectively. Still, rescue operations are underway after a 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck Myanmar. Local and international teams are racing against time to locate survivors and retrieve bodies from the rubble.
Rescue workers persist in their search efforts, though survival chances diminish with each passing hour. The scorching heat has intensified the odor of decomposing bodies still trapped beneath the rubble.
We found 3 bodies yesterday. Some are still under the rubble. We've been searching day and night since the earthquake hit. We can smell the bodies beneath the debris.
Despite the grim reality, hope remains. On Tuesday, a 63-year-old woman was pulled from the ruins of a collapsed building in Nay Pyi Taw after being trapped for 91 hours. The rescue was carried out with the help of teams from India, China, and Russia. Urgent aid needs are rising by the hour, with children particularly vulnerable to psychological trauma and some separated from their families.
The needs are massive and they're rising by the hour. The window for life-saving response is closing, and across the affected areas, families are facing acute shortages of clean water, food, and medical supplies.
Health facilities in Myanmar's capital, Nay Pyi Taw, are overwhelmed. According to the World Health Organization's Myanmar office, power outages, fuel shortages, and limited access to clean water are complicating treatment efforts and raising concerns over disease outbreaks. Meanwhile, the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies has proposed a $113 million aid package to support approximately 100,000 affected people.
Another development that is capturing global markets' attention, the U.S. tariff. The White House has confirmed that U.S. President Donald Trump will announce new tariff measures on Wednesday. According to a spokesperson, the retaliatory tariffs on countries imposing duties on U.S. goods will take effect immediately after the announcement. Meanwhile, a 25% tariff on imported automobiles will begin on Thursday. Trump has defended his trade policy as a means to protect American workers' industry from what he calls unfair trade agreements. However, experts warn that higher tariffs could drive up prices in both the U.S. and global markets, impacting not only the American economy, but also the broader global financial system. The European Union and the United States' top trading partners have vowed to take countermeasures in response to Washington's planned tariff hikes set to take effect on April the 2nd. On Tuesday, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said that the EU has a strong response plan in place and warned that the bloc would not hesitate to act if necessary. She reaffirmed the EU's willingness to engage in dialogue with Washington, but stressed that the bloc would not bow to pressure and was entering negotiations from a position of strength. Canada, one of the U.S.'s largest trading partners, stated that it would carefully consider its response should President Donald Trump proceed with the tariffs. Higher tariffs could drive up prices in both the U.S. and global markets, potentially affecting not just the American economy, but the broader global financial system. Up next, let's have a look at the weather forecast for Vietnam and other locations in the world. And that is all that we have for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website or YouTube channel or download a mobile app VTVgo for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.